I'm almost speechless because what just happened? For weeks, we've seen Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston going at it in some of the nastiest ways and saying some of the cruelest things to one another. And tonight, on the 10-year anniversary of the New Day, it all seemed to be coming to a head. It looked like we were moving towards a New Day official breakup. And just as all the fans wanted, Big E returns and gives this most heartfelt speech about how he's not going to do this. He's not going to allow that to happen, and how he's going to be there and he's going to be their manager. And truly, I got excited because I will take E in whatever way I can get him. I don't care if he's a manager. I don't care if he's on commentary. I don't care what Big E is doing as long as he's involved in the product. That's how much I love Big E. But Kofi and Xavier said, hell no. And here's the thing. I'm so sorry, but I have to play devil's advocate because they're not entirely wrong, guys. Now, did they go too far talking about his neck injury? Yes. What do you mean you broke your neck? So what? So what? So what? So what, Kofi? So what? I mean, it's his neck. Like, I don't want to hear the whole Stone Cold. Kofi went on to do the Stone Cold and Kurt Angle, which, yes, Kurt Angle is known to have wrestled with a broken freaking neck, but so they even brought Edge into it, who hadn't wrestled in years before his Royal Rumble return, which the greatest return ever. I don't care, I don't care, I don't care. Take the other stuff somewhere else. The greatest. Thank you. They brought up him not having surgery and how he could have been there. And some of it was in fact too far. Like, they were so mean to E, and you could see the pain in his eyes, and it just broke my heart. Like, y'all, I sat there staring at my screen like the whole segment, like I was shook because I just knew that Big E would come out and he would fix it all. And he did, just not in the way that we as the fans necessarily wanted. Either way, back to my devil's advocate thing, because I have to be as unbiased as possible, right? They're not wrong. Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston have been going at it for at least the last few months. There has been tension. There have been words exchanged. They have been easily irritated with each other. And E waited until now to come back and fix it. You couldn't come back when this first started, when the first week or so we saw them coming at each other. The first couple of weeks we saw them going at each other. You couldn't step in then and say, hey, what's going on? You couldn't pick up the phone. You couldn't send a text message, a message in the bottle, a carrier pigeon. I'm sorry. I'm always reference that USO promo. I'm so sorry. But unfortunately, yeah, the guys had every reason to be just a tiny bit upset. In that sense, I don't blame them. Just in that part alone. Because yes, he could have came back for them sooner. Even if it wasn't in the ring. Even if it wasn't backstage. He could have reached out to them. He could have done something to try to get ahead of this. Now, the part that really throws me is that somehow them going after E brought them together. After you just said you pissed away Kofi Mania and the only reason Kofi won the title was because of you. After Kofi just said you were never good enough and that him and E carried you. Are y'all nuts? Are you okay? Like, mentally, what's going on here that you would just forgive that to double team someone else? Like, I'm mind blown at that. After you said all of that to each other, we're just gonna forget it. We're just gonna make up, kiss, and go on about our business. We're gonna join forces and become a super heel. And I mean, truthfully, the best way to get them over as heels was to go after E. It was actually quite genius. It just broke my heart. Obviously, going forward, we won't see the Kofi and Xavier we've been used to seeing the last few years. They're not gonna be smiley, bootios, dancing, happy, positive guys anymore. They are about to take the division by storm. And I'm wondering, are they going after the tag titles? Or will they be supporting each other in their quest for singles titles. And when is Big E getting cleared? Because with Xavier throwing that you're never getting cleared out, there's no doubt in my mind that they expect E to be fully cleared at some point. But when? If. You know, I'm very confused about what happened tonight on Raw. While I'm here, we may as well talk about Seth Rollins and CM Punk opening the show, because and Sami Zayn coming in afterwards and him exchanging words with Seth. Oh, that was probably one of the best opening segments of Raw I've seen, if not this entire year, recently. Seth pretty much said that for a year he's been regretting not punching CM Punk in the face. And you know how thrown off you got to be to tell somebody, for a year I've regretted not hitting you on sight? Damn. But Punk turned right around and was like, bro, you don't even matter. Who are you now? You don't have anything I want, so I no longer care. And when I tell y'all, like, I gasped, I was like, oh, that had to hurt Seth a little bit for Punk to not only remind him he does not have the title anymore, but to also tell him you're worthless without it. Like, without that title, you mean absolutely nothing in my book. I have not thought of you since you lost the title, since the last time the two of us crossed paths. Yo, that's crazy. I almost feel bad for Seth for that, because that was kind of sick. But Sami and Seth's promo had to be my favorite part, because finally somebody tells Seth he needs to take accountability. Because at the end of the day, the monster that is Roman Reigns in Seth's head was started with Seth. It all started with that one chair shot forever ago. And if you don't think Seth created that monster, you have to at least admit that Seth put Roman on the path to become the monster that he is now. Seth has always played victim in the storyline of him and Roman's. As of lately, he usually bragged about what he did to Roman once upon a time. But as of late, it's been more so, oh, he's such a monster. Oh, he's a tyrant. He's this, he's that. You did that. You took someone who put loyalty and brotherhood and justice over everything, and you turned him into this person who only looks out for himself, because now he feels like everyone's going to betray him, because now he feels like no matter what he does, he should always be looking over his shoulders, because if he makes one wrong move, he'll lose. And unfortunately, if you really think about it, this idea somewhat continues in the Bloodline feud, because even now, when Roman lost, that was when all the pieces started to crumble. That was when he felt like everybody turned their back to him. That may not be the case, but like I said, we're thinking how Roman is thinking. Whether we agree with it or not is two completely different things. But I do think there's a certain beauty to the story that's being told, not only within the Bloodline, but with Roman and Seth and their original brotherhood as well. I don't know how long until we finally get Roman and Seth, because it's looking like we'll probably get Seth Rollins versus CM Punk first. I won't lie. I'm kind of going for CM Punk for Royal Rumble 2025. I know he's on the Elimination Chamber poster. I know he is. I would not mind seeing CM Punk at the end of Rumble pointing at the Mania sign. I think that man probably deserves it at this point. I don't think he's ever done it. I could be wrong. Don't quote me. But yeah, I think CM Punk is gonna be my Royal Rumble pick, because the damn show ain't gonna be Roman, because they're gonna jump that man as soon as he pull up. Soon as that man music hits, Roman's getting kicked out. Like, there's no doubt in my mind that Roman may have the shortest time in the Royal Rumble of all time this year, because them folks not gonna play with him. It's over. Since we're talking about Raw, let's just do a quick recap of everything else that happened. We had our first qualifying match for the Women's Intercontinental title, which saw Dakota Kai moving on, which I'm very proud for her. But also, Dakota, Shayna, and Katana put on an amazing match. I believe next week is Zelina, Lyra, and Ivy. I hate that both Lyra and Zelina, even Ivy, are all in one match, because I was really going for one of them to make it to the end. And now two of them will be knocked out during the first round. So, yikes. Finn Balor is still worried about everything but the tag team titles he's carrying. He decides to go up to Gunther and demands a match solely because he's helped him beat Damian Priest twice, which, who asked you to be involved, bro? Like, nobody wanted you there. But all right, cool. I just really would have liked to get into Dom's head when Gunther instead gave the match to Dominik Mysterio. Like, I know, ain't no way that didn't eat at Finn, right? Like, you going with him, the kid, as he called him? That kid had the whole arena chanting Dirty Dom. I and don't get me wrong, I do like Finn. I do enjoy the Demon. I enjoyed Finn during his earlier runs. He's a heel now, and his heel work is obviously impressive because I don't like him. You know, it happens. It's cool. Finn now will be facing Gunther at Saturday Night Main Event, and if Damian don't show up, but also, Dom, hear me out. Could this be the beginning of the end of Judgment Day for real this time? Or at least Dominik Mysterio on his own? One thing about it, while I do enjoy a lot of the interactions that Dom has within Judgment Day, Dominik Mysterio has never stood on his own as a wrestler. Dominik has had his dad, then he had Rhea, Damian, and Finn. Now he has the new Judgment Day, Street Trash. He has Liv. Maybe it's time for Dom to just be by himself and see if he can cut it along, because I truly think that baby has it. And I call him a baby because I still remember when Dominik started. Like, I say that like it was a long time ago. Sorry. When Dominik started, he just seemed like a kid to me. But that is in fact a grown man who has not only evolved as a man, but as a character on the mic, in skill. Like, Dominik has grew crazy amounts on the main roster, and so I couldn't be more proud of him right now. I'm full on okay with him slowly starting to leave the Judgment Day. So if not Damian Priest getting involved with Gunther and Finn, I am 1000% behind Dominik Mysterio doing it. R-Truth was able to pull off a win over Pete Dunne in like less than 5 minutes. Pete really got to let the name thing go. It is distracting him, and it cost him a match against R-Truth. Like, bruh, you got to do something, Pete. Like, you can't keep letting that Butch name get to you forever. Like, let's move on. I also want to touch really quick on Braun Breaker and Ludwig Kaiser. Ludwig pretty much says that he almost had Braun, and Braun is telling him he needs to jump shift before it's too late. Now, y'all know in my previous video, I've been saying I want Ludwig versus Gunther. We might be at the cusp of it. I don't know if it'll involve the World Heavyweight Championship or not, but I do think that Ludwig is going to internalize those words and they're going to turn him against Gunther. I think we're slowly seeing the final nail in the coffin that is Imperium. I don't know if we'll get them back together at a later date, which again, I still think is criminal. Imperium did not hold the tag titles while Gunther had the IC championship. Like, it blows my mind, actually. And I understand we had the Bloodline on one side, Judgment Day on the other, but like, Imperium wasn't nothing to play with either, you know? I'm just saying. Drew McIntyre returned, and I think we're all confused because did he attack Sami and Jay? And if so, why? Are you attacking them because of CM Punk, or are you attacking them because they're back working with Roman? We have to remember, Drew never forgave Jay. He was always against Jay. While he did, I believe, somewhat forgive Sami, he was never getting up off Jay's neck. But it does not make sense for it to just be about Jay himself, because if that was the fact, wouldn't Drew have cost Jay the Intercontinental title? Like, I'm very confused. I can't wait to hear what Drew has to say about why exactly he decided to attack both Sami and Jay. If he attacked Jay, because we really don't know. I'm even questioning, just like Seth said, was it CM Punk? I don't know why CM Punk would attack Jay, but who attacked Jay Uso? And what is in Drew McIntyre's plans now that he's back? Is he going after a title? or is he handling some unfinished business? Damage Control versus Liv and Raquel was actually a really, really good match. I think both teams looked extremely strong. I believe it's officially been announced that Io and Liv for the women's title is official for Saturday night main event. But we also had the surprise of Rhea coming out to like try to save Damage Control and getting into it with Raquel. First of all, I'm gonna need Rhea to chill with these headbutts. She makes my nerves bad. Like, babe, your face is already broken. Sweetie, your eye, please, like just dial it back a little. And when she hit the announce desk, like y'all, I legitimately screamed, like body cringed up because it just no. I'm interested to see how her match with Raquel goes. I think a lot of people underestimate Raquel. I don't think she's bad in the ring at all. Because we all know Raquel and Rhea have put on some bangers before. But I think that given what she is doing now, character wise, and people just aren't getting behind it. So I'm hoping that this match with Rhea awakens people's eyes because NXT Rhea and Raquel used to go at it. And with that, my Raw recap is done. Tried to keep it as short and sweet as possible. I can't wait for next week per usual. I definitely stayed up way too late recording this, but hey, I do it for y'all. I'll see y'all next time. Bye.